Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of HTF Bets, our live Thursday show on the Hitting the Field Network. I'm your host, Riley Sheppard. After a week off, my host and I are touching on nearly every sport from around the globe, so don't go anywhere because HTF Bets starts now.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome back to HTF Bets, Riley Sheppard, and as always, Jeffery Laux and Weluka Costa to my left and right. Boys, with nearly every sport season in full swing, each of us selected a different one for our Beast Best Bust for the first time this year. And arguably the most important topic here at UCF the past few weeks has been our Knights cracking the college football rankings. Jeff, you had our bust for this week. Touch on why the committee needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
So it's like 2017 all over again, right? With UCF getting dissed, for another Power 5 team just because, they had a quality win against LSU. And we're talking about FSU, UCF, and we're starting beef. We're starting smoke, just like with UF, UCF, USF, UCF, even though that beef is
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways.
Beef is both sides.
Yeah.
Anyways, recently, Jason Beatty posted this off Twitter. Boo Corrigan, one of the CFB guys, said the reason they ranked FSU over us in the CFP committee because when we looked at the Florida State, they had a win over LSU, who was number 6 at the time. And on a head-to-head comparison, Florida State beat Louisville. UCF lost to Louisville. Big win for UCF this past weekend. So I don't really care about any of that, actually. I don't care about any of that because UCF is 7-2. We're ranked above FSU in the AP poll. FSU is 6-3. I really, really have a hard time, taking a team and putting them above another team who's only being one ranked team, which is LSU, while UCF has been 2 ranked teams in Cincinnati and Tulane.
Get them, Jeff.
I really don't understand it. I'm sorry, but the LSU win does not trump any of this. It does not. And apologies in advance to all my Seminole peers and all of my colleagues, but this is war. This is war.
Should we be above Florida State?
Arguably, yeah. I'm actually, no, not even arguably. I definitely think we deserve the ranking. We went out there and first of all, we've only lost 2 games. And the wins we've had in the last weeks have been nothing but great top tier wins. We beat Cincinnati. We go away and then we win there, and then we go to Tulane again and we win an in-conference opponent. Yeah. Where Tulane is ranked 17th, by the way. In Florida State, they beat Miami, and who else?
I think that's the most important part is all of our wins have been coming later on in the season.
Exactly.
Our 2 most important wins have been Cincinnati and Tulane, back-to-back.
For sure.
We had an early loss against Louisville, week 2, I believe, and that was when they beat LSU, was week 2. I think it's important that we've been getting better as the season goes on. Have you seen any major improvements from FSU against these? Syracuse, big win.
38-3 against Syracuse, and they're a basketball school. Syracuse is 6-3, but the ACC is soft. They're one of the softest conferences right now in the Power 5, and we can continue on that because there's only 3 or 4 teams that are really saying something right now. But UCF against Tulane just had their season high in rushing. There was 347 yards, some ridiculous amount. FSU isn't doing that right now, and Tulane is a top defense in the NCAAF right now.
And we close out our season against Navy and then USF, hopefully setting ourselves up for a home conference championship game. Luka, if as a UCF football fan, who would you want to take on in the conference championship game? Because it's interesting. The race right now is interesting. Cincinnati's there. SMU's going to be there.
To be honest, who do I want to take on? I would say SMU, honestly.
Tanner Mordecai?
I don't know. The only thing with SMU is we kind of routed them. We routed SMU and we played them earlier this year. And Cincinnati was a very close game. It was that Cincinnati. Don't get me wrong. The energy for the Cincinnati game would be so much more intense if we played SMU. But if we're talking about winning, because I'm here to win, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to play games. UCF is here for the respect they deserve. I wouldn't mind SMU, but in terms of an actual fan atmosphere, I would love a Cincinnati.
Would you want Tulane?
Nah, I want Cincy again, man.
Cincy?
I want that fan base to know it's over for them. It don't matter. It don't matter we're changing conferences. It's over for y'all. Yeah. UCF is gonna be your big daddy from now on, and that's just kind of how it's gonna be. It's okay. You guys don't have Kobe Bryant anymore. You don't have Jerome Ford. You don't have all those guys that went to the NFL. We do have those guys, all these Florida recruits that are, way better than anything you can get in Ohio as a Cleveland Browns fan. But as I would say, Cincinnati, I just want to beat down the Bearcat fans really, really bad right now.
I think them boys in Cincinnati qualify as they because they are not him.
Hey, on that.
Transitioning from that to I had the best for this week, and he's had a couple off games the last week, but before that, Paul George was just dominating in November. Right now, his November splits are looking like 26.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and on 48, 37, and 82 shooting splits. He's been keeping the Clippers afloat without Kawhi Leonard, who's still recovering from that ACL tear, knee injuries. Jeff, are the Clippers going to be the team to beat in the West once Kawhi comes back?
No, because I don't believe in any LA teams. But it's surprising because I thought the Lakers were going to be better than the Clippers this season. It's really surprising that the Clippers are on top in LA right now.
But why do we think the Lakers, guys, listen, all the Lakers did in the offseason was say, hey, we got together, we got on a phone call, we're going to put our differences aside. They said that 3 years ago. Like, the Lakers stink. You know, and if I'm being honest, I don't think we should be surprised by this performance from Paul George anymore. I think he does this, I'm not gonna lie, he does this year in and year out. And the only time he slows down is the playoffs. But, you know, he's been providing numbers all season long. You know, Kawhi comes in, obviously his efficiency is gonna drop. But Paul George has been this guy for the Clippers.
And the Clippers have so many weapons around him right now, which is why they've been able to stay above 500. I'm not sure exactly where in the standings they are, but they're a playoff team right now. John Wall has been looking like he could be
He's back.
He's looking like he could be a legitimate six-man of the year contender. If the Clippers, who is going to be their biggest competition out West?
Honestly, obviously, you know, you get the Blazers up there. The Blazers are looking red hot. Damian Lillard is playing on an absolute another level. They also have Anthony Simons, you know, who has been really proving himself to be a force to be reckoned with in this league. We got the up-and-coming Pelicans. You know, they're playing amazing. And if we're being honest, sleeper team, the Sacramento Kings have been playing amazing basketball right now. They just smacked the Nets. They put up 150-something points through 4 quarters. De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are looking untouchable right now. I think the Sacramento Kings are a force to be reckoned with.
Sir, you forgot a team, though.
No, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, there's more. There's the Jazz, too.
No, we're not. That's not even. We're talking about Ja Morant.
Wow.
Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant.
I can talk about Ja all day.
Talking about him. He's him.
No, that one is him.
They're 9-6 right now. I really think that they could come on the end of the season. I feel like their bench always comes alive near the ending of the season. So,
guys, I would love to talk more NBA, but we did have one more. The beast for this week, the Green Bay Packers wide receiver, Christian Watson.
Speaking of him, we're going to talk about Christian Watson. Exactly. He had 3 touchdowns on 4 catches this week. Obviously, he made up for his week 1 mistake, very first play of the Packers season, where he dropped that wide open bomb from Aaron Rodgers against the Vikings. But, you know, he made up for it. 107 yards, total yards. 58 yards being his longest TD catch, 26.8 yards per catch. And that breaks the Packers' 5-game losing streak. Aaron Rodgers went 14 for 20 on 224 yards. So, yeah, the Packers, you know, they redeemed themselves, and they really surprised us against the Cowboys in a game where I honestly thought they had no chance at all.
Are the Packers back?
No, they're not back, but I definitely do think that this proves that Aaron Rodgers does it time and time again. He can have nobody. Last year he had no Devontae and no Aaron Jones, and he still went out there and balled. So I seriously don't understand why people be down Aaron Rodgers. I'm not even a big fan of his, but greatness, you know, you got to recognize greatness when you see it.
And I think the NFC North race is out of reach. Do the Packers have any chance to make the wild card at 4-6 right now?
I think it's tough to say. You know, also you got a lot of football left to be played, but like they're in a division with the Vikings. Sorry, Cameron. So you know anything is possible in that division. You never know.
Are the Packers back?
No.
No.
I'm telling all my cheesehead friends, no, they ain't back. I'm telling Lil Wayne, no, y'all ain't back.
Green and yellow, nah.
With that being said, that is all the time for this segment. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere because Weluka is heading over to the green screen and Ezra Hines is joining us for the fantasy football segment. We'll be right back.
Welcome to HTF Hot Takes. I'm Johnny Jackson. We've got Emily Aaron to my right and Weluka Costa to my left.
Hello and welcome to our segment of Hot Ones. I'm here with Noah Kemper and Grant
Wheeler.
Yep, I knew that. Grant Wheeler.
Listen, I'm a Bulls fan, but I just can't ever argue against LeBron. I watched him my whole life.
I've been going back and forth with this debate for a long time. It's got to be Michael Jordan.
Whatever she wanted. I would wake up in a maid costume for Doja Cat.
Brutal.
Jeffrey Laux, no question.
Richie, I would give it to Richie.
It is not Richie. It is not Richie.
No, it's Jeff.
Richie's pronouns are he, they, because he cannot be him.
What?
Oh, where's that?
I'm gonna have to also agree and say Jeff. He always is spiffy.
It might be Cameron. Cameron's had some good fits.
Out of the women, Norelli always dresses really, really cute.
Oh, that went so awful.
It's basketball.
College football, I think, is the best sport to watch.
If you don't like soccer, it's because you suck at it.
I think college football is the best.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to the fantasy football part of our show, and joining us is Ezra Hines. And Ezra, I love that you wore a matching suit with me today on your first appearance.
You already know.
And Ezra, how are your fantasy football teams looking right now?
They're looking decent. I'm 4th in my league right now. It could be better, so we'll see as the year goes on.
And maybe, just maybe, Luka's ad drops for this week might help you out. Maybe. Luka, who are your top 5 ad drops heading into week 12 of fantasy football?
All right, so I think I actually for once have some good ad drops because I usually suck at this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But number 1, we got the boy I just talked about, the beast himself, Christian Watson. Like I said, he's been becoming Aaron Rodgers, one of his favorite receivers. Randall Cobb just went on IR. He's been establishing himself as a great second option behind Adam Lazard because Sammy Watkins is simply not going to do it for you. So I think if you're looking for someone to potentially get you, 10, 11 points in the upcoming weeks, I think Christian Watson is a good option to look at. Number 2, we got Kadarius Toney. If you watch football and you saw him get traded to the Chiefs, that should have been your very first instinct. That should have been the very first thing you did when you saw that trade go through because Kadarius Toney is the boy. He's been popping off. Juju recently went down with a concussion injury last week against the Jaguars. Pray for Juju. Hopefully he gets better. Sorry, Emily Aaron. But yeah, he's been absolutely popping off this year, or so far. He found the end zone for his very first time in his career this year with Patrick Mahomes. And I think this is a presage of what we can expect more of him, He led the league and he was one of the top leaders in the league in yards after the catch last year with Daniel Jones throwing to him in that terrible front seven in the Giants. So I think he's a good option to pick up. And then for my final ad, we got Paris Campbell. The deal in Colts, one thing we know about the Colts is they don't know what they're doing, but seem like they finally figured it out with hiring Jeff Saturday. You got Matt Ryan back under center, so it's a different game plan. It's not the same Sam Ehlinger. These little short 5-yard routes. Paris Campbell's gonna be able to stretch the field, give you a couple of yards here and there. He's one of the most targeted receivers over there, aside from Michael Pittman. And he has a touchdown in 3 of his last 5 games, so I definitely think he's an option that you should be kind of looking at, someone who is worth picking up. For my drops, my first drop, sadly, we got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I am very disappointed to see this because I actually really do like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's such an energetic player. He's very electric. Pacheco and McKinnon have really taken over the running game over there in Kansas City. If it's on the ground, it's normally Pacheco, and then in the air, you got McKinnon. 2 touches last week. I don't think I need to say anything else. Literally 2 touches last week. And then my final drop, you got Matt Collins. If you have him rostered already, I think that says everything you need to know about your fantasy team. It's just been a rough season for you. He had a few boom games, I'm not going to lie to you. He had that 31-point game not long ago, but then ever since then, he's just simply been falling off. He has not been the same production level we have expected, even with Darren Waller being out and Hunter Renfrow being absolutely garbage. The Broncos, they come against the Broncos next week with the second best defense in the entire NFL. They're only allowing 290 yards per game. Hannah Joe, you should be proud of your Broncos. But yeah, Matt Collins is not someone you want to have on your team. Devontae Adams is just simply going to carry the load, and Derek Carr is. So yeah. So tell me what you guys think about my ad drops.
And now, Luka, Hannah Joe may be proud of her Broncos defense, but Ezra told me that you should not be proud of this list before you got on.
At all.
Ezra, where did Luka go wrong?
So he's kind of half and half. First thing, Christian Watson. I get it. He had a good game, but it was against the Cowboys, whose secondary gets burnt like firewood regularly. So I don't understand what you expected from somebody like that. And I know for this week, he does come up against the Titans, so he might have a better chance, but anything after that, no way Christian Watson should be on your roster. Kadarius Toney, that's a good one because Juju might be out. Probably number 1 option.
You see the hit he took?
I got it.
He'll definitely be out. Don't worry. He's not playing.
Oh, and the Kadarius Toney one, I did want to touch on a little bit because the Chiefs, I have Mecole Hardman, and he's about another one that he's either on or off, and I feel like Kadarius Toney's going to be in the same boat because they have so many weapons. I mean, Kelsey's going to be Kelsey. He's always going to produce. But outside of that, it gets really interesting, and I think that's where Tony's production is gonna go up and down a lot, because Hardman, I have him on one of my fantasy teams. He just had a great game, but then he won't get any targets. So why is he going to be different from all the other weapons?
Because Kadarius Toney, like I said, we saw him at the end of last season. He was undoubtedly the number one receiver for that Giants team. Everyone saw it in the last 6-7 games of the season. He went out there and produced every single time. I promise you, if you throw the ball to Kadarius Toney with 4 defenders in front of him, he will make 2 miss. He's not like Mecole Hardman, who's a one-trick pony. Kadarius Toney can go deep. He can run his route short. He's going to be elusive. He's going to get targets, especially because without Tyreek Hill, obviously I'm not comparing Kadarius Toney to Tyreek Hill, but their play styles are very similar. Obviously Tyreek Hill is way faster, but in terms of the shiftiness, the elusiveness, the ability to be open, Kadarius Toney definitely has that potential, and it's only his second and third year in the league, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think Kadarius Toney definitely has potential, more potential than Mecole Hardman, simply because, he's a better player. We both know this. If you put him one-on-one, we would both take Kadarius Toney.
Luke, I honestly like your list for once. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Congrats, man.
And Christian Watson, Randall Cobb is on IR. Romeo
Doubs gone too. I mean.
Okay, so exactly. Yeah. So I'll wait to figure out who. Sammy Watkins? Yeah, all right.
Hey, so
and Romeo Doubs is out. Yeah.
Harris Campbell, though.
That one I don't like.
I don't know, because of the weapons and then the dysfunction of the coaching, everything going on. Grant, I know you're happy about your offense finally balling out for 1 week. Jonathan Taylor looking like the old itself, but I don't see the consistency leveling up, especially with this team and their weapons. They have Alec Pierce, who's broken onto the scene. They have multiple running backs. They have Kylan Grayson, a new tight end. They have who's the other wide receiver I'm forgetting right now? Not Paris Campbell. Michael Pittman. I can't believe I forgot him. But dude, they have so many weapons. I'm kind of, unless you're in a deep league. And then Edwards-Helaire, I feel your pain on that, man. I have him in a couple of my leagues. I'm still holding on faith because he started out the season with 5.6 yards per carry, and now he's back down to 3.0, and they are not rocking with him in Kansas City right now. They're like, Jarek, get on out there, baby. And even Darrell Williams, they've been trying to replace Edwards-Helaire ever since selecting him in the first round, and I don't know why they even selected him if they're not going to try to even, try to showcase his value in a sense. I'm iffy, but I can see him turning it around though, because at LSU, who's a beast. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, you gotta drop that guy like a bad habit, bro. Sadly, as much as I do love Edwards-Helaire, I really feel like if he were on another team, he would undoubtedly be good enough to be a starting back, and I feel like he'd be able to make a name for himself. So it honestly, it makes no sense to me why the Chiefs are not. He's been nothing but reliable for them the last 2 years. He's been the guy for them whenever they needed him to be. He fights for yards. He's elusive. But yeah, Edwards-Helaire is just, you're gonna have to drop that guy, man. It's not looking good for you.
With that being said, our HTF standings in our fantasy football leagues are starting to, we're starting to see who's actually going to make the postseason. Jeff and I are going to be the 2 teams who are going to make the postseason, and then Luka is going to stay home. He's not looking too great right now, but let's take a look at our fantasy football scores from last week. You see Emily Aaron lost to the Combine host Cameron Forcier. John Alfano defeated nighttime host Camden Mowry. Jeff put up a 143 bomb on Grant Wheeler. Hannah Jo Groves embarrassed Johnny Jackson. I'm so sorry, Johnny Jackson. Almost had his points doubled.
168.48?
168.48 to 89.5. Luka, you got to win. Luka got a win this week. Man, we're going to be taking a look at the standings momentarily. And then I squeaked out a victory over Doug Smethurst on Monday Night Football. I had a great waiver wire pickup late last week that shout out Brian Robinson for that one. And taking a look at our standings, starting to take shape a little bit. Doug Smethurst, 7-3 right now. Jeff is at 8-2. We're going to be taking on each other this week. John Alfano is 5-5, along with Cameron Forcier. Johnny Jackson, an abysmal 3-7, along with Kelly Campbell, an even more abysmal 2-8. Emily Aaron is 4-6. Luka sitting at 3-7. I am sitting at 7-3. Grant Wheeler at 5-5. Camden Mowry 6-4, and then Hannah Jo Groves at an even 500 at 5-5. Looking at our schedule for this upcoming weekend, as I mentioned, Jeff and I are going to take on each other between the battle between HTF Bets hosts
You already know how it's going to turn out.
It's going to be a fun one.
I'm going to be on your line Sunday night.
I'm excited for that one. Luca is going to be taking on Combine host Cameron Forcier.
Oh, I can't lose. Please, I can't lose. Not the Cameron.
Hoping to pick up his 4th win of the season. But that is all the time we have for this segment. But don't go anywhere because we're going to have a quick commercial break. And then another guest star is going to be appearing for our Surefire Bets of the Week. We'll be right back.
I'm going with Cowboys versus Giants. Why? Because I am a New York Giants fan and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The NFL is gonna make it happen.
Welcome back, and joining us for Surefire Bets of the Week is not only Ezra Hines, but last year's HTF Bets host Tyler Karen is joining us. Tyler, how does it feel to be back?
Man, it feels great. I've been watching every episode of every HTFN show all year. I've been so proud of this whole network and the level of quality of shows that we've been putting out. So it's an honor to be back and be welcome back for a Surefire Bet.
It's an honor to have you back. And I want you to do the first Surefire Bet of the week. What is one you are locking in?
I'm gonna go with the NFL on this one. I'm gonna go with them Birds. The Philadelphia Eagles. Sir. I knew Luke was gonna like this one. They come in at 8-1. They got their first loss of the season last week versus the Commanders. This week, they faced Jeff Saturday and the Indianapolis coach, Jeff Saturday, a.k.a. Ted Lasso. That's kind of my opinion on him. And everyone's kind of, the Eagles are coming off their first loss of the season. They have some injury problems. Everyone is kind of counting them out. They open up at a 7-point spread, which is a score, so you're pushing even if it's only a touchdown difference. But for the Colts, they get their win last week under Saturday. In the modern betting era, 60% of first-game head coaches cover the spread or at least win outright. But I don't think they are facing one of the toughest teams in the NFL this year. The Eagles, they're stacked on offense and defense. They rank 5 in numerous statistics on both sides of the ball. If you are going to go with the Colts, though, every game that they've been an underdog, they have won outright if they've covered the spread as an underdog. So if you're not going to listen to me, the Colts, if you're going to bet the spread, you might as well just take money line.
Now you heard it here from Tyler. Ezra, what is one you're locking in this weekend?
I'm going to go NBA this week. Not a shocker, but I'm going to go with the Portland Trailblazers versus the Brooklyn Nets. It happens tonight at 10 p.m., and this is just an easy win for the Portland Trailblazers, in my opinion. The Nets are in shambles right now. They got Kyrie still out right now because of what he did. Kevin Durant's talking to the media about how his teammates aren't good enough. Ben Simmons doesn't touch the court enough, and the organization is literally trying to figure out if he still likes basketball. Yep. Yeah, you got Damian Lillard, who's averaging like 27, 4, and 6 right now on great shooting splits. I want to say 46, 37, and then like 86 from the free throw line. You got great stars. You got the Brooklyn Nets, who are ranked 28th in rebounding in the league against a team that gets a lot of rebounds a game with Josh Hart, again, who's only 6'6". Don't know how he grabs 9 rebounds a game. Yusuf Nurkic is probably going to hoop because of that reason. And yeah, when you bring that starting lineup that the Nets brought against the Kings and then got 30-balled, it's only evident that the Trailblazers are going to do it, especially with a 2.5 spread.
Yeah.
They only have that. Oh, that's easy money.
That's where I was wondering what the spread was at, and I think 2.5 is so disrespectful to the Trail.
1 3-pointer,
yeah,
really?
I would not be
too
surprised
low.
if the Trailblazers blew them out. But Luka, what is your surefire bet?
Y'all know what we were going to talk about. World Cup! World Cup! We got USA versus Wales on Monday at 2 p.m. The World Cup starts this Sunday. The first game for the United States is on Monday. We have a great matchup between the United States and Wales. We need a big game from Pulisic. We need a big game from Reyna. We need a big game for Serginho Dest. We need a big game from Weston McKennie. We need a big game from these amazing players. Gio Reyna has 14 caps and 4 goals and 2 assists and 5 Champions League matches for Dortmund. So we're going to need a big game out of him. Weston McKennie has 2 goals and 5 Champions League matches for Juventus at center midfield. So hopefully his attacking prowess is going to allow us to create a lot more opportunities in the midfield, because that's going to be the main problem. And also, we got to stop Gareth Bale. We can't let Gareth Bale keep doing it.
You know what I'm smelling?
I'm
smelling old people. That's Gareth Bale.
Yeah,
He's old. We're young, baby. USA.
You cannot mess with us. Exactly. So Gareth Bale has been injured recently. He has not played, I don't think, in his last 4 or 5 games for club. So hopefully something like that is not going to hinder us. And also, we cannot let Brennan Johnson, Wales number 9, he plays quality football over there at Brighton. So, Ezra would know, we cannot let him get going. We also can't let Aaron Ramsey control the game, because he's going to try and slow them down in the midfield. He's going to allow them. We cannot let him get comfortable. We cannot allow them to get touches on the ball. So take USA to win this game Monday at 2 p.m. I'm not even a USA fan, and I'm going to be watching this game, so that says everything you need to know about this soccer game. It's the World Cup. Once every 4 years, man, you're never going to get an environment like it again.
Like he said about Brennan Johnson, he was on Nottingham Forest this year, and he's doing pretty good, but against USA, even their defense, still not that great. So
going from one football to another football, Jeff has some college football for his surefire bet.
And we're talking about Texas at Kansas this week, and this is 2 teams that UCF could possibly see in the near future. I know Texas, moving on, but Kansas, we might be able to see them. Right. So right now the money line has Texas favored by negative 335. The total spread is 63.5 points. I'm going to take the over on it. I think it's going to be a defensive matchup, but I also believe that both teams will come in trying to throw it a lot, because Texas has their rookie QB right now, their freshman. He's doing all right. Mr. Ewers, he has 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 129.5 QBR. But he knows balling. The Jayhawks QB.
Tell me, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Jason Bean, UNT transfer, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 176.6 QBR. And I honestly, I don't know the last time Kansas has been 500 since we've been alive. So I'm praying that they win. I think they're going to pull it out and go Jayhawks.
Is it hot in here? It's a hot QBR.
And to wrap it up really quick, I had college hoops. Kentucky is traveling to Gonzaga on Sunday. I know Tyler, I wanted to pick this one for him. Big college hoops guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Kentucky. There's no official spread out just yet. But both teams have lost early on in the season to teams they probably should have beat.
Gonzaga, Texas. Right?
Yeah, Gonzaga got blown out by Texas last night. Kentucky lost a double overtime against Michigan State.
Heartbreaker.
Kentucky's easy here. Gonzaga's got a well-rounded roster, but they have way too much stuff to figure out. Kentucky has the athletes, they have the shooting, they have the assist numbers. Kentucky comes out easy with this
Oscar Sheba is still looking like that guy. Has not missed a beat. He did foul out in that Michigan State game. So I'm going to take Kentucky money line, but that is all the time we have for this week. For Ezra Hines, for special guest Tyler Karen, for Luke Costa, and for Jeffrey Laux, I'm Riley Sheppard, and we will see you all next week.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.